What's going on, everybody? This is Lemon Drop 14E, and I'm back with more new old tutorials. So, what we have today is more of your plain old-fashioned flames. You can call them hot rod flames, stock car flames, just straight up flames. But first and foremost, I want to let you guys know that you should always listen to the bumper. Alrighty, so let's get started here. As you can see, I've already got some flames. I'll just go ahead and show you quickly. Whoopsie doopsies. Stop it. There we go. We're using the bottom left flames as always. Again, these methods can be used with pretty much anything. Like this one, this one, this one, or this one. So really these three and this bottom left one are the ones I use the most. Honestly, this bottom left one and then these two are the biggies. Sometimes I'll use that. Not all the time, though. So, let's mix it up a little. Let's get this one in here. And I just place that here. Let's get rid of that one. So, same as what we normally do. We're just going to start off by sizing this down a little bit. And there's no specific size you need to have it at. You just sort of place it and feel it out a little bit. I'm going to tilt it a little to the left. That's just for my own preference. I'm going to hit that Y button and stamp it down. And just like we do with all the other flames, we're just going to try and walk them back down the car until we get a good groove going. I'll do that. We're going to need to start coming back quicker. So I'll do this. And maybe one more of them. There we go. So that's basically going to be the outline. But see, now we've come to the hood. And what you want to do when you're at the hood is this one right here is the last one we used. So I'm going to hold down the left stick and hit the X button to copy it to my clipboard. Move over to the top and place this bad mamma jamma right down. We're not going to tilt it or change the size at all because we want it to be as similar as possible. Most of the time, I should say. Sometimes it doesn't end up working that well, and we just kind of have to wing it. Which honestly is looking like that might be the case. So if you can see, we really want that to merge seamlessly. And that might be harder than I was wanting to deal with right now. If I move it up to here, it's close. Not quite perfect. So what I am going to do is spin this a little bit. So there we have a perfect seam, or close to it, from the side of the car up to the hood. So I'm going to place that down and leave it. I'm going to go back over here and just grab any one of these and place it down. And now we can start moving them across the hood. And right now, all we're setting up is our outline, pretty much. Because see, on the side, I should have explained that all that white on the inside of the flames, we're going to block all that out with color. So that's not going to look that way. All we're doing is setting out the outside line, or, the line of the flames. And we're going to do that all the way across the hood as well. So we're going to bring this on down. I'm going to place it right there. I'm going to start working my way across. Now the hood is the most fun because you can really move the flames up and down. Spin the sizes all around. It's pretty open to what you can do. I'm going to spin these and make them more straight up. Then let's see. Don't want to get too much of a twin vibe going here. So I will drop these to about there. And your seams and stuff do not have to be perfect, obviously. This is all just however you guys prefer to do it. The way I'm doing it here is just my own taste. And as you're watching here, I am going back and forth and spinning it around, pasting it back down, just trying to make it move fluidly with the hood. And you want to go up and down with the flames too. You don't want to just leave them all the same level across the top. There, I had one go off the top of the hood. That bugs me sometimes, but not all the time. And now we're going to leave this one right here. Go to the right side and insert all of them from left to right. And we did that, so now we can make this left side of the hood, well, I guess it's technically the right side of the hood. We can make it match up, which obviously is going to be important. So we get these to match up. Maybe. Drop it down. I think that matches up well enough. So I'll paste that down. Now we can just sort of bridge the gap. And when you're doing this method, it's not flawless. There are going to be some spots where your flames overlap a little weird. But, you know, as long as it looks fine to you, that's really all that matters. Let's size this one down a little bit just to make it squeeze in here a little bit cleaner. Spin it. Like, it looks beautiful. What do you guys think? There's the flames. You know what? Why am I not able to use the D-pad? There we go. That's weird. My stick is not working. There we go. Whew, I had to click it down for some reason. Thinking my controller was on the fritz. Okay, so I am going to grab this one. Because if I can show you guys, it is hanging off the top of the hood. And I know I said it doesn't bug me sometimes, but it's going to bug me now. So I'm just merely going to shrink this. And also scooch it down a little. There you go. So, like I said, the flames aren't perfectly synced up, but it gives it more of a wild look. And what you could do is be done right now with the outline, but I'm going to add some, but with this top left one. This one adds a lot of flavor to the mix, if you ask me. Because the way I use this one, and again, this is all just per taste. You do it however you want to. I'm going to spin it around and just give the end of the flame a little bit more character. So say I can fill this in right here. And you've got totally different looking flames just by adding or subtracting a little bit. In this case, we're adding. Put that one there. Maybe I'll spin this one around. And put that one there. So then I'm going to take this one, take it to the hood, place it down, and just like we did on the side, we're going to add a little bit of flavor to the ends of these flames. And if you don't like the way these look, I'll say it for the 45th time now, you do it however you want. I just think it kind of mixes up the pattern even more when you do this. And also, if you do happen to have, I don't know what you want to call it, if you want to stand out a little bit more from the crowd, this does help, because a lot of people just use the standard flames. And I do a lot of that myself, so there's nothing wrong with it if you just want to use the standard flames. But if you want to make your stuff stand out a little bit, this is certainly a good way to do that, because not everyone does this, which is silly because it is such an easy way. That one's not going to work. I'm not going to force it. But it's a very easy way to make your flames look a little bit different than everyone else's, and it takes just a little bit of time, but it can really make the difference when it comes to putting two paint jobs side by side. I think that might be it. I'll put one here, I bet. Eeks. No. See, some of these just don't quite line up, and that's fine. You don't want to force it. You're going to end up having something silly looking. And there's definitely times where I'm painting these and I'm placing them down, and when I'm on the next couple of steps, I think, boy, I really forced that one, and it doesn't look right. And I just go back and take it out. But in this case, it seems like everything looks pretty good. So, what we're going to do is group all these together. And of course, I didn't tell you on the left or the top, but what you do, you hold down the right trigger, keep it held down and hit down on the D-pad, and you highlight everything, and you go to group, and there you've got one block you can then mess around with. So now what we're going to do is fill in all this white behind the flames, because we don't want to have any color showing through, obviously. And the thing I found tends to work a lot is this bean shape. You know, either the bean or maybe a triangle, but we'll use the bean shape at the moment. So what you're going to do, you're going to find the spots that are your, I think it's called negative space. I don't know the proper term. You're just going to fill those in. And I like to leave breaks in the white. Like, I could cover, say, these up. But to me, that's an awful lot of color. Sometimes you want to break it up a little bit. And the way we place the flames down naturally leaves some color breaks. And I think that helps quite a bit sometimes. Some of these, I'll place it there. I don't really want it. For what we're doing next up, I'm going to take out the color breaks here, because I want quite a bit of color in the front here if I can get it. And so here I'm just going to make this large, blob up the color. Make sure I didn't miss anything. I think I'm okay, except I am going to change one little thing. If you see, I can't zoom anymore, but I'll show you with this. There's one of these where it's got a piece of the flame sticking through, and it's not my favorite. We can see right to the left of where I'm at, there is a little piece of flame sticking through, and it looks a little off. So what you could do, you could just say, put the bean right here, and change the shape of the color break. But I'm not going to worry about that so much right now. I'm just going to block it out. Now, this is definitely a quick way to do this, and I am trying to hurry a little bit. When you're doing this, just take your time a little bit more than I am. And you can really fine-tune it and really make it look super fluid and like it's one continuous piece and not a bunch of them pieced together. Because obviously you want to hide the fact that it's a bunch of different pieces. You want it to look very plain and like everything is right where it's supposed to be. So now we're just going to do the same thing with the hood. Also, if you're worried about having symmetrical flames, you can do it the same way I did it, but you have to pay attention to the size of your vinyls and also the locations of them, which I did not do here, but it's just a matter of finding your center line and just making sure on each side of your center line is a perfect mirror of each other. And then that's it. I typically don't like super symmetrical flames because then they look like a decal to me. And I think the whole point of flames is for it to look like a whatever you want to call it, like an organic thing. I'm just moving these around and placing and taking up space. Let's see if I can find any other places I don't like. Really, everything looks okay here. Except for this one over here is a little bit much for me. Like I said, I'm kind of doing a quick version of this for the sake of time on the video. But typically, I would take my time a little bit more than this. But there we go. And then an easy way to block out the rest of the hood, just get a square and drag it all the way across the bottom and just paste it. And really, you could do that anywhere, but I think that bean shape just sort of helps capture the natural shape of the flames they give us, so it seems to make it a little bit more seamless. There we go. Block that out. And now all of your interior things, your colors, or whatever you want to call them, whoopsie doopsies, you want to block and group those together just like you did the outline of your flames. So group. So now we have two groups, and what you should do is now you're going to pick your color, and I'm going to go with a pretty standard eyes bleed orange. So let's go ahead and change them both to that for now. Same with the hood. And like I'm doing here, I'm highlighting both of them. I'm not going to group them, but I am going to change the color together. And then you just unselect them. So there's the flames as they are. Now, we're going to do an outline on the flames. In order to do the outline, you have to try and pay as much attention to detail as you can, because the closer you pay attention, the better they're going to look. Sometimes I've tried to do this outline, this method, and for whatever reason, the random assortment of flames I put down just doesn't work with it, and I end up not using an outline. But we're going to try it here. So yeah, what you do, you left stick, hold it down, copy your base outline flames, and paste them under it. So here's your originals, and this is the copy you just placed down. So this is on top, and this is going to be the main color. So go back to the ones we just placed down. This is going to be our outline. So you're going to go to change position, and you're going to zoom in, and you're going to you're going to hit one direction. I'm sorry, each direction, but one bump at a time. And in theory, that makes a perfect outline. Doesn't always work, but that's the theory. So, see, I just bumped it up one, and then I went back down, because, let me show you again, if I copy these, and then paste them, look at the locations. They're negative 118.56 and negative 45.43. Normally, you cannot get to that fine of a number, but I think what that does, it captures every one of those pieces we've placed down and grouped together, and makes an average position, and that's what it ends up being. So if I hit up, normally it would jump a tenth at a time, but if I hit up, it goes to the next even number. So that's not a full clean click upwards. Now when we go down, we're back on our even amounts. So keep that in mind. You're never going to have it perfect on the dot for that reason. So just keep that in mind when you're doing these. So this is roughly where we started. So I'm going to hit up, hit Y to stamp it, right, stamp it, right again, and then down, and then stamp it, and then left twice, stamp it, up once, and stamp it. Ideally, what we've done is encompassed all of these. So group up all of your outline layers that you've just stamped. If you ever get confused on which one is your top layer, that's going to be the farthest right of your outline of your flames. That's your top layer all the time. So, in case you get confused, that's where it's at. But all of our outline, we're going to group those together, and let's change the color and see how we did. Okay, so it looks like we need to move it down a little bit. So I will just copy all of these and paste them right back down. And you can move it down. Now you can really see where you're at a little bit better. And by doing this, you can see the tips of the flames sometimes get a little bit skewed. But that's just sort of the nature of the beast. So you just want to kind of tap it around a little bit till you get happy with the way it looks. And honestly, I think that is just fine. So now I want to group all of these up. And I have my outline and my base color. Now we have an outline over here. Let's go to the hood, and we're going to do this exact same method. Alright, so just going to go up, Y, and I'm going to do it a little different. Go down 2, Y, then go back up 1, right, Y, up, Y, down 2, Y. And that way you kind of get everything sort of encompassed. Like I said, that's the goal. Obviously, it does not happen every time. So let's go ahead. I'm sorry, I meant to change this color to, almost said flat black, just regular black. Okay, and we've kind of got the same design as we did before on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and just mess around a little bit with these. Honestly, I like that a lot. And the way to double check your outline is that your joint you did? I'd say it's close enough. Like I said, for the video, it's okay. If I was going to do this because I wanted to try and have I would say a show car, but you know what I mean, where you are showing it around and you want to show it off or whatever, you probably want to take a little bit more time than I am here. Like I said, I'm just trying to speed through this for the sake of time, but that is the general idea. And as long as you do that, you're gonna need to practice it, obviously, a little bit. And you can obviously delete these and insert all from left to right, and then bada bing, you've got your outline. So yeah, that's the basic idea of it. Trying to think if I missed anything. I don't think I did. So let's move on to the next part of this video, which is the airbrushing. So I'm going to block out this front bumper. Oh, and before I forget, sorry, I had a mild interruption, but what I was going to tell you is, you can also go through here and add some transparent, like, circles, and I'll just show you. It's easier to show than to talk, because it's a little hard. Gradient shapes is what I was thinking. You can take some of these, mainly just the couple of circles here, and just do different colors, and just have, like, fades in your flames. Again, that's all just stuff that you have to take the time to do. There's no quick way to do it, really. And honestly, the more I'm looking at these, they're not my best flames, but the ideas are what matters in these videos, not maybe the perfect execution of them. Anywho, moving on to the airbrushing. I'm going to go ahead and group up all this stuff just so I don't accidentally hit anything. And now what I've done before I started the video, I went and did a search, and I like to search for skulls. Those are sort of my thing. At least what I think look cool in flames. So I simply searched for the word skull, and this is what's come up. I think I'm going to use this one for sure, and then this one. And just to give credit here, file name for this one is Evil Skull by J Shifter AUS, I guess Aussie or Australia. And then I'm going to use this one too. File name is just Forza. Creator is Clan Vodo and VC Zombie. So if you guys want to use these, please go use theirs and give them a high rating. So for now, we're going to grab this one. And yeah, of course, you're going to get this where you won't be able to share your design since you're using someone else's decals. But if you don't care about that, then you're like me. So obviously right now we have a skull. He is unfortunately facing the wrong way. So I will just do the old trickarooskies. Insert all left to right. Delete it from the left side. I'm sorry, right side, and paste it here. And hey, what do you know? He's facing the correct way. So that's sort of the old school way of cheating that system. So here we go. We're going to move this on down the road here. And the way this works, it looks airbrushed. Now I'm going to put those in quotes. You can't see that, but I'm quoting it. Woo. Working with a big one here, so every little bump makes it smaller. And you know what? Instead of putting it up here where that reflector is going to get in the way, or turn signal, whatever it is, I'm going to put it back here, quarter panel and door area. So this one we're going to place here. And then also I'm going to change... Oh, how do we do this here? Color, there we go. And I'm going to make it the same... Yeah, and for it to work, it needs to be the same color. But for now, I'm going to make it one darker so I don't lose where it's at on the side here. Then I'm also going to go back and grab that other skull. And this one is the Evil Skull by J Shifter Aus, or Australia, whatever it is. Or Oz. Wow, that's another big one. People like their gigantic vinyl groups, I guess. But that's fine. Like I said, go and if you end up using these guys' skulls, least you can do is go and give them a high rating on the storefront. So I'm just going to spin his around. make them a little bit different. And we'll just go with that for now, because this is just to give you an idea. You don't have to use these, obviously. Also, something I have done is, I will show you, because I need to go over here anyway. You can use some of the shapes they give you for stencils, because I guess I should have mentioned, these are essentially stencils like you would have in real life. But I did a car on Forza 4, which had snowflakes, and it was kind of like counterintuitive because there was like snowflakes inside the flames. It was a whole thing. Anyway, but I was just going to point that out. You can use some of theirs, and they do look really nice. I'm going to use the Old Faithful down here. And I mentioned earlier that you can use some gradients, so I am going to do that, I guess. I wasn't planning on it, but in order to do this, it does help. Use that size, it's fine. I'm going to... So you can't usually change their colors, so I kind of forgot that. You have to go to change position first, and then hit X to change the color. I'm going to make this match the orange on the car, which leave it right there. Cut this, paste it right here. I'm sorry, paste it under it. And now you simply move it around. Obviously, we're going to knock the transparency down a little bit. And what we've done here is kind of made, I think it's called negative space. I'm not super sure. But in and amongst our, fades in color, we now have a skull negative. I guess it's called a negative. I don't know. I'm not really sure what the technical terms is. You end up with a sick looking skull inside of your flames, and that's pretty cool. So I'll go ahead and do the ones for up here. Again, I'm just going to place these sort of randomly around. Just sort of like that around the front of the car. And these, obviously, I'm going to take them, position them, X to change the color. And I'm going to move them and make them the same color as the base of the flames. So you can also, if I don't run out of layers here, can I put another one down? Can I put one more? No, I can't. There's not enough room. Okay, so I'm going to take these two and also move them, You can do anything. I feel silly like doing this on the fly, but you can honestly move them anywhere you want and just have like a layered effect. What? Oh, I still have those other ones. Don't need to copy those. Just gonna copy these really quick, paste them down, and then move them over here. And the same thing. If you find one that's a low layer count, that would be nice, and you can really just pepper them all the way down the car. But like I said 45 times before, this is just so you get the idea of it. Take it and do other stuff with it, and you can really expand upon it. So that's it there. Now that I brought it up, I am going to change these colors to... what colors did I use for that snowflake one? I'm going to do that because it was really neat looking. I used like an ice blue. And the outline was, I think, yellow? Or maybe it was, no, it was light blue with a white outline. And obviously the car wasn't white, so let's change this. Let's do something on the fly here. What do you say? So the video is pretty much over. You guys have got all the ideas. But I am going to do this really quickly while I'm doing my outro. If you like what you saw, thank you very much. Hit that like button and subscribe. It means a lot to me. I know I've got, one guy who's been commenting, which means the world to me. Thank you, sir. Yeah, that's what I did. This kind of looks icy and blue. So yeah, thank you very much for everyone who's watching. Please leave comments, all that stuff. I have all the time in the world to respond back. So, yeah. So there you go. There's my little outro shtick. So let's see if I can find... Here we go. Nature. And you know what? Man, I forgot. I also did another one with a gold background. It was the first one where you could have gold metallic in your paint. I'm not sure what game that was. 3, I want to say. And it had like a gold metallic base paint. It was on a Ford Mustang, like a 69, I think it was. And it had shamrocks in it. airbrushed with dark green and light green for the flames and a black outline. It was also pretty cool design there. The snowflake one was my favorite, but it wasn't near as popular on the storefront. I think it's because it's kind of a weird combination, snow and flames. Suppose I should make them water drops at this point, but whatevs. And so these, since they are such a low count on the layers, you can really feel free to do these up. I'm going to add some more. This is kind of what I was trying to show with the flames on the left, or with the other skulls on the left, where you kind of put them around, different sizes and that sort of stuff. It's hard to do when you have a very complicated layer like the skulls, just for the reason I said. You don't have infinite amount of layers, and you want to be sure that you can get the good effect. So now I'm just gonna sprinkle these around a little bit. Don't be afraid to go super tiny and put them like up here too. The way I come up with this design, not this design, but like this method, and like I say in everything, I'm not the only person to come up with it. I'm not the first one to do it, but the way I came up with it on my own, because I didn't see this from anyone else, was actually airbrushing. And there's a guy who I'm trying to think of his name. He, oh gosh, I can't think of the website now. But he has a series on like stencils, and they're called Screaming Skulls. Oh gosh, it's gonna bug me now what his name is. Anyway, he's hooked up with DeVilbiss, the airbrush manufacturer, and it's how I started doing the skulls. Like I have a controller I've painted or whatever, and I use stencils just like this to kind of fade the skulls in and out, and that's really how it got started on Forza for me. So we're gonna move this down whenever I find it. There it is. Did I mess up? No, I made this a little bit different color. Perfect. So like here, I'm just gonna place one right about there. About here. You don't want to go and place them right under the vinyls themselves, because when you do that, then it looks like you've got polka dots, kind of. But if you can just kind of let the shadow kind of hook them a little bit. Like here, it's going to be a little bit more difficult because tight quarters. Oops, we have a daughter interruption. You guys are getting all kinds of secret things. Yes, dear. You want to say hi to people? What are they? They're just people that like to watch me do stuff online. There's not a lot of them, but there's a couple.
Hi. Why do I look so tall, Daddy?
Why do you look so tall? Well, you're looking into the microphone, and it has a reflection. But, all right, dear. Back to bed with you, please.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye, dear.
Bye-bye.
All kinds of special things happening in this episode. This is what happens when you hang out after the outros. Cool stuff goes down. And I gotta make sure I hit all these. And just kind of, like I said, you don't want to put them like right over it like that one is, and you look like you got polka dots or chicken pox, whatever. Place it right about there. Now this is the fun part, is when you get to take a look at these and see what your design looks like after it's all said and done. Change colors. We're gonna make this the base. Wait, that's not what I wanted to do. No, I meant color, you dorks. There we go. Perfect. These, that's actually fine. we may darken it a little bit. Yeah, and there you go. You kind of got your snowflakes. So, there you have it. Boy, I really like the way that turned out a bunch. If I'm being legit here. So, there you have it. There's your airbrush / realistic flames. For real this time. This is the end. I'm going to change this color, though. It's going to bug me. But, yeah. So, all I'm doing now is placing these down for my thumbnail so it doesn't look like I have a mix. Well, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't do this for the thumbnail. I don't know. You guys will see what the thumbnail is. So, okay, guys, for real, thank you very much for watching. If you stuck around this long, that's super impressive. Yeah. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.